What's up, HorrorFam? Steven aka Bojangles here. And come closer, my friends. I have something scary to show you. Alright, I want this one to be the biggest premiere to date, so please, please, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, my friends. Become part of the HorrorFam. So, a new Halloween is upon us, and this time it's being brought to us by Rob Zombie in the form of a remake. Essentially, the first hour tells us the story of young Michael Myers' childhood, and after that, well, it basically becomes paint by numbers. So, let's go back and take a look at 10 things you didn't know about Rob Zombie's Halloween. Number 1. John Carpenter, Zombie Hunter. Carpenter says that Zombie called him up and told him that he was going to remake Halloween. During the conversation, the former director had some very straightforward advice.
I said, make it your own movie, man. You know, this is yours now. Don't worry about me.
Carpenter says that Zombie then went on to tell a very different story of their encounter in an interview on the Biography channel.
Anyway, they interviewed him on that Biography channel, and he lied about me. He said I was very cold to him when he told me I was going to, and that he was going to make it.
As you can imagine, this didn't sit well with the master of horror.
I was incredibly supportive. Why that piece of shit lied, I don't know.
Since then, the two have been able to bury the hatchet. No pun intended.
It happened.
Number 2, major on-set accidents. The man behind the Myers mask, Tyler Mane, and Scout Taylor-Compton, who took on the role of Laurie Strode, became great friends.
I call Tyler my dad. I love him. I mean, I think he's probably the one that I bonded with the most.
But during the first scene they filmed together, Laurie Strode almost killed Michael Myers.
My first scene with Scout, I get stabbed.
Compton grabbed one of the real knives rather than one of the fake knives.
It was my first horror movie, okay? I didn't know that they had fake knives and real knives. And they had, like, retractable knives and all this. They look the same.
First scene.
They look the same to me.
And proceeded to stab Mane with it. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt.
But apparently I didn't have enough strength to get through, so...
Oddly enough, Mane went on to save Compton's life, as she put it, because she almost took a 20-foot fall.
So when we're filming that scene and we're going up the stairs, once we get up there, we have to open the doors and sit on top and wait for the scene down below to continue. And so someone downstairs, I went up, I was sitting on top of it, closed it, and Tyler was down there smashing the gate and running up the stairs. And someone downstairs was saying, keep going, keep going. So he opened up the doors and I went flying off this 20-foot drop.
Luckily, Mane snatched her before she met her doom.
So I remember hanging on, and Tyler had to grab me when he came out. I was so scared. Everybody was like, your face is white. I was like, yeah, I almost died.
And lastly, no surprise, Michael Myers almost killed Laurie Strode. In the DVD commentary, Zombie talks about how Michelle Sebick, the stunt woman doubling for Scout Taylor-Compton, was seriously injured during the scene in which Myers tackles Strode off the balcony. This is why the scene suddenly cuts to black, as he didn't want to show the aftermath.
Bruh.
The moral of this story? Make sure Rob Zombie's insurance is paid up before stepping foot on one of his sets.
This is horrible.
What is it, Doctor?
This man has no insurance.
Number 3, a pact between friends. Being friends with Rob Zombie, actor William Forsythe accepted a role in the film before he even knew anything about it.
I got a call from Rob, and it was basically, that he was interested in me to do the movie, and sight unseen, I accepted, not knowing what my fate would be.
However, he and Zombie have a morbid pact with each other, so he knew one thing he could expect.
We've made a pact that, every movie he makes, I'm going to have, some kind of really special death.
Number 4, the new Loomis. Want to hear something crazy? Malcolm McDowell has never seen any of the Halloween films, which he felt helped him in his portrayal of Dr. Loomis.
You know, I didn't actually see any of the movies, the Halloween movies, so it was much easier for me to keep it sort of my own Loomis and not copy somebody else. It's a very different, I'm sure, characterization than what Donald Pleasance did, you know. And
while some may perceive this as detrimental, Zombie viewed it as an asset.
What worked out good for me was Malcolm McDowell had never seen the original Halloween, so at no time is he, you know, ever prone to slipping into a Donald Pleasance imitation. Not that he would anyway, but I mean, you know, if you've seen a movie, you kind of get that character stuck in your head.
What did you think? Did you like McDowell as Dr. Loomis? Leave your opinion in the comments section below and let us know.
Respond! Who answered first? Ah, so it is you.
Number 5, the early stages. The Weinsteins knew that they wanted to do something with the Halloween franchise after Halloween Resurrection.
Happy fucking Halloween!
They were in discussions with Rob Zombie, still debating what they were going to do with the franchise. Zombie, however, knew what he wasn't going to be doing.
I am not making Halloween 9 or 8 or whatever the hell it was.
Rob Zombie's the one who actually suggested a remake, which they decided to go with.
They didn't know what they wanted to do. I'm the one who proposed the remake.
You may be surprised to learn, however, that despite being the one to suggest a remake, he actually turned it down.
In fact, I basically turned it down. I was like, because I kind of felt how everyone else felt, that a remaking Halloween was like, you know, like pissing in the Holy Grail or something.
After thinking about it, Zombie decided that he would be willing to take on the project and even had some maquettes made that would help producers get inside of his head.
When I was pitching the movie Halloween to Dimension Films, we made these maquettes.
This would help them envision what he'd like to do with the character of Michael Myers.
What Michael Myers would look like in the asylum, and what grown Michael Myers would look like, and this. You know, young Michael Myers. I tried to leave nothing to the imagination as to what I was up to.
Initially, he also pitched a different idea for the film than what we ended up with.
I wanted to make the first film just young Michael Myers. And maybe then do a little bit of him as an adult, and he breaks out, and that's where the movie ends. And then have maybe the second film be more of some of John Carpenter's movie.
He figured they could shoot 2 films at once, which has been done with other Hollywood movies. But
I couldn't get anyone on board with that idea.
So, we got what we got.
If you watch my remake, it's almost like 2 movies shoved to one. It's one movie, then it suddenly becomes another movie.
Number 6, wishes do come true. This one is really cool. During the truck wash scene, when we're introduced to Big Joe Grizzly,
Grizzly's back in town. Who's got the Cracker Jack?
you probably never paid much attention to the background actors in this scene. And why should you? I mean, they're just washing trucks, right?
Look here. That's a new paint job. Don't mess it up. Don't scratch it.
Well, believe it or not, a human's dying wish is coming true in this scene.
Hey, man. Hey, sir. How are you? How are you? Good. Make-A-Wish child from Minnesota. I chose to come to the Halloween movie because I think Rob Zombie's cool, and I really like the Halloween movies that were already made, so this one's going to be even better.
I told you this one is really cool. So not only did this guy get to hang out on set, but he was also given a role in the film. Check him out.
Don't mess it up. Don't scratch it.
I can't give out any more information on this guy, as the Make-A-Wish Foundation is great about keeping these things confidential, but I am glad he got to live out his wish.
Oh, Rob's gonna see me and he's gonna be jealous.
Number 7, Michael Myers on eBay. Remember in the original Halloween when Myers gets his mask from the hardware store?
Well, now all they took was some Halloween mask, rope, and a couple of knives. Who do you think it was?
It's hard growing up with this.
How do you think Myers would go about acquiring his mask in this day and age? Could you imagine him hopping on eBay and picking one up? Well, that's exactly what happened in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Sorta. The clown mask young Myers is so fond of was purchased on eBay.
Michael Myers' clown mask was found on eBay. We did a search for vintage clown costumes, and this one particular one came up, and it just looked absolutely perfect. And I purchased it for $12.
The problem is, there was only one mask available for purchase.
It was so old and fragile, the plastic was very brittle, and they only had one. They couldn't find a duplicate, so we duplicated that, and those were the ones they actually wound up shooting with the most.
Lucky asses. I know what happens when you try to cheap out on a Michael Myers mask.
Come on, you. Cough up a bucket, cheap bastard.
Number 8. Rob Zombie, bully victim. It's no doubt that Myers had a rough childhood, both at home and at school.
Hey, shitpants.
Now, obviously, Zombie wanted to give Myers some backstory for the movie, but the inspiration for the school bullying was taken from Zombie's own childhood.
Everything in the movie with young Michael Myers, I mean, is drawn from, unfortunately, from different experiences that I've had.
At least it sounds like he dealt with the bullying fairly well.
That's why the scenes with young Michael being tortured by other kids in school, and it may seem harsh, the things they're saying, but that's what it's like.
Number 9. Annie, are you okay? Tyler Mane enjoys his work.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you. And I'm good at doing it.
But he does admit to having a favorite victim.
Favorite killing would have to be my killing of Annie.
This was also Brad Dourif's favorite scene in the film, but for a much different and very heartwarming reason.
Yeah. The favorite scene that I've done so far is the scene I did with Danielle, and it's because, you know, I have daughters whom, you know, like every other father in the world, I adore the ground they walk on. And you don't often get a chance to really express that, and this was a scene where I did.
However, Dourif does admit that despite the numerous horror films he's been in, this one may have just gone too far for him.
I may not watch this one. There really are a couple of scenes in this that are truly terrifying.
Number 10, fight. Ken Foree and Tyler Mane wanted to have an epic fight scene.
Ken wanted to bring it that day, and he brought it, and so then I had to kick Michael into a little bit higher gear there to give him a whooping he deserved.
But Mane was at a horrible disadvantage being in flip-flops because they were so slippery. So Mane had props spray Stickum on the bottom of his shoes for a better grip.
I called to the prop guy, I go, give me some Stickum. Stickum's the stuff you spray on stuff to make it tacky. Sprayed the bottom of my shoes, and I said, come on down, bitch.
Zombie also instructed them that they could be more violent in this scene.
You guys can fight a little more violently this time, and that's when you can start slamming his hand against the side, and that's how you can get the knife out of his hands.
And they were. Things got so intense, in fact, that Mane developed a huge hematoma on his arm the size of a baseball.
That left me with a few lumps.
And they ended up destroying a real bathroom stall.
He's a big boy. It was pretty intense and real. You know, they had the fake bathroom stalls, but we didn't need them. We tore up the real one.
And that's it for this Halloween. But don't worry, because there's always next year. So stay tuned and make sure you hit that subscribe button, because soon I will go over 10 things you didn't know about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Until next time, my friends, look horror, listen horror, talk horror.
You were great out there, man.